thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cyndi O'Meara, Carren Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Carren Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cyndi O'Meara.
And welcome to today's podcast. So we're super excited to share the information that we've got for you guys today because guess what? It's all about travelling. Stop it! We're just a little bit excited.
Only because she leaves on Tuesday for a magnificent trip.
Yes, you are right. Yes, I am gloating. Yes, I am showing off. Correct, yes, I am. Just happened to be flitting off for a casual trip. Where am I going? I'm flying off to Rome, and then I've got 2-week cruise around the Greek islands.
Did we actually ask, or is she just telling us?
You know, I'm just telling.
She's been dropping names, you know that.
Such a tart.
I know. Lush, actually. Fabulous.
So we're at the 2 weeks.
2-week cruise around the Greek islands.
Wow.
Yes. And so we're visiting Santorini, Mykonos, Dubrovnik, Venice, really everything that's fabulous. And then we go to Paris, and then we go down to Nice, and then we go to Portofino, Cinque Terre, Monte Carlo, Marseille. It's all so civilized. And then we fly to Barcelona, and then Barcelona home. Shut the front door. Don't you just wish you were me?
Do you know what I find really funny?
Such a tart.
Do you know what I find really funny? Because when I go on a trip, I have no idea where I'm going. All I do is know the next place the next day. I would never be able to name all those places.
So herein lies, listeners, the difference. We have the travelling princess and the travelling Wilbury. You've got your choice here.
I'm very serious. I would not be able to say, if I was going on a cruise, I'd go, yeah, I'm going on a cruise. I'm not sure where we're starting and I'm not sure where we're ending, but yeah, we're going on a cruise. That's how
really?
Yeah. When somebody said to me, oh, what time's your flight leave? And I went, well, I won't know that till the day before because I don't. Because why look ahead? I always look at what I'm doing on that day and then I go, okay, well, next day I better find out if I'm on a 6 a.m. flight because if I am on a 6 a.m. flight, then I need to get ready tonight.
But are you talking about holidays or are you talking about work? Because when you've gone on a travelling holiday, you're a lot more up with
Howard
what you're
organises it, so no, I'm not.
That's true, actually. She's a rock star.
She's a rock star.
She just turns up.
I do. I just turn up. I have no idea. I just really... Howard does it all. And then everybody in the office does all my other stuff. And so I'm handed a little black folder.
No, I don't know about rock star. I'm going to go with Brat.
Yeah, I'm actually with you.
Brat. No. I think Brat. Hello, Brat. Worst.
It's so true. It's so scary, but I do. I go with the black folder that has every day organised for me, where I have to be, what time I have to be there.
I'm too spoiled.
It is a bit spoiled, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I've got to sit down and make the little itinerary so that I know what time our flights are, so that I know where we've got to be at what time and all that. So I still have to do that.
So you organised your whole trip. You have done the flights, the times,
Would Matt not do that?
No,
so
he
Matt's
probably
me.
would.
Matt's me.
No, he likes to be involved in
he
it.
does.
Like he's booked all of our onshore tours and all those sorts of things. So he likes to be involved in it. I think I'm just a little bit more internet savvy. Maybe that's all that it is. Because he's very involved. He's very involved and he knows exactly where we're going. And he's very much like he likes to participate in all of that. Yeah. But that's so exciting. So exciting.
Or you've worked your chuff off, love. You deserve this little break.
Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
I think so too. And then when I get back, I've got 3 days and then I fly off to San Francisco for a conference. And then I get back from there and I've got 2 weeks and then I rip off to London for another conference. Ow!
Did we ask?
We didn't ask.
She lies. It's not London.
No, it's Birmingham.
It's Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah, because I used to say Birmingham.
That's
and
what I'm
someone
thinking,
said to me it's Birmingham. Birmingham.
So, girls, let's
sorry.
showing off and talking about all your little trips and everything that you're going away.
It is work.
Did I drop in that I'm going
Correct.
to the States? Anyway, I just thought I'd drop that one in. And you're off to Greece.
Greece is fun.
So we thought it was very appropriate.
Such a brat.
Now, how are we going to do podcasts Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Skype. Don't worry, listeners, we'll be there with you. We won't be that selfish. We'll leave you alone every Tuesday when you download these. But we thought it would be a great idea to share with you some of our travel tips and what we do when we travel, because also a number of you have been asking what are some of the things that you use to travel with, and what are the tips that you've got to have us have good health whilst we're travelling. So maybe a couple of the things that you do, Cyndi, what are some non-negotiables that definitely happen for you when you're travelling that have to come with you no matter what?
I figured if I've got my passport, I'm fine. I can buy anything else. That's the way I look at it. So if I forget something, I don't panic about it. I just go passport, credit cards, although I have gone to Europe without my wallet. I have done that. I did.
And what did you do?
Well, I got to, where was it, Hong Kong or Singapore, and I rang Howie and I just went, oops, I haven't got my credit cards. I have nothing. I have probably...
That's scary.
It was really scary because what had happened was that I don't take Medicare cards and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I actually have this tiny little wallet that I put all my credit cards in, and for some reason I just didn't do it. First time and only time I've ever done it. So I get to London and I had someone picking me up, and they basically had... Because I was really upset. I went, well, how am I going to survive? And... So Howard had actually rung the people that were picking me up, who were organising the talk that I was doing. So as soon as I'd done a talk, then I had money and I had cash in order to keep going. But yeah, it was... without money, okay, so, all right, non-negotiables, passport and money. Everything else you can buy. Everything else, it doesn't matter if you've forgotten your makeup or anything like that, but make sure you've got your two non-negotiables. They're looking at each other as though to say, hang on.
Like, who would travel without their makeup?
What a stupid thing to say. That's the one thing she wouldn't forget.
That's already packed.
Yeah, non-negotiables, passport and money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else, you can get there. Yeah.
Okay, so what about from a health perspective? Like some things, I know when you travel, you have your little chili bin,
Yeah,
esky
but you
thing.
can't take that overseas.
You can't take it overseas.
But let's talk both. Let's talk if you're travelling nationally and internationally.
Well, food is the most important thing after money and well, you don't need a passport when you're travelling here, so the passport goes and the food comes. So I have my little red esky, and in that esky, depending on what time of day I'm flying, so this morning, I've come with my esky, and in my esky I have fruit, I have a coconut water, I have Cada, I have pomegranate, and I'll probably put some... What else would I usually put in there? Some actually probably more fruit is basically what I travel with in the morning. In the afternoon, I'll have a salad with sweet potato and meats and things like that. And if I'm travelling for quite a few days, I make sure I put in some yummies. So I'll make up some slices or some date squishes or something like that will go in there, and that'll be my sweet treat if I want a sweet treat ever. So, yeah.
I find those sweet or nut treats, like I make nut balls and things, they're not just a sweet treat, they're actually sometimes my fuel.
Yeah.
That's all I'll have, because if you go... We were in Adelaide just the other day, and my girlfriend and I arrived there, and Dr. Brett Hill took us to the markets, which was great. But we're walking...
Was he bare feet?
He wasn't barefoot literally, but he had his barefoot shoes on.
Right.
But he took us to the Adelaide markets, and he said this is probably the one unique factor or unique thing about Adelaide that's different to any other city. But he goes, but it's quite sort of rural, it's been around for years. And anyway, we went there. Okay, I have to share this with you both. I just about died. He takes me to a stand called Something Wild. Okay, are you with me?
Yeah.
In the butchery thing, wait for it.
No,
not coconut, crocodile skewers with roux.
Really?
You don't sound excited. I was repulsed. I can't believe you Australians eat crocodile.
Okay.
And roux.
Look at
I've even got the photo. I have to show you both. But while we're talking,
Crocodile Hunter wouldn't be very happy with me, just as well he's not here, to listen to me say, well, I'd really like to try crocodile.
No. It's just not normal. Who eats crocodile? Okay, so here, look. Crocodile. This was on the skewer. Croc, wild pork, goat, emu, alpaca.
Oh, no. No, that's too much.
Oh, wow.
She's so amazed.
I want to go.
Anyway, the reason why I brought up these markets, I just diverse, but it is interesting to see what other cultures do. But we went to the nut stand, and the first thing...
little alpaca. Have you seen how cute the little alpaca's arm.
No, don't even. And look, it's got sampler kebab. Anyway, let's not go there. Look, had to take a photo.
A little emu.
But right opposite Something Wild was the nut shop, and they were all organic nuts and seeds, and that's where I went. And I got my little supply of my nuts and seeds and things. So for me, so long as I've got
Nuts and seeds. Yep, that is a good one.
You know, because then when you're on the plane, because I don't want to eat anything on the plane. You should see what people were eating on the plane.
I know.
And I know you've spoken about, you know, chicken's not chicken and all that sort of thing. But if I've got my fruit and I've got a nut slice or nut balls or something, or some nuts and seeds, I'm okay, because that'll get me through to the next meal that I can go and buy.
You know, the other thing that's a non-negotiable for me, I've just realised, is they're hitting each other. It is a non-negotiable for me is instant calm and energy and vitality.
Oh, the oils.
Yeah, the oils are really, and you talk about what you carry, but they're my two most important oils of 28. And my iPod. My iPod's my other thing that I really, really like, because if there's noise on the plane, or if I can't sleep, or I'm in an environment where I've travelled to that I'm not happy with, my earphone and my iPod is really, really important. And we've got our iPhones now that we can do that with. But I have an iPod that's just filled with podcasts, filled with meditations, filled with music that calms or excites me or whatever it is. So, yeah, definitely that would be another non-negotiable.
Well, speaking of the oils, definitely I take with me, because you can take up to 100 mils on a plane internationally.
And what are your mils?
So the spritzer bottles are 50 mils and the oils are 10 mils. Yeah. You could even take the 100 mil body boost oil if you wanted, but you don't need to.
No.
So for me, you're right. There's probably 4 oils I travel with, definitely 3, but more often not than 4. Definitely instant calm and energy and vitality, because depending on the time zone, so if you know you're getting on a plane, I try and put myself ahead into where I'm heading to's time zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking, even though the lights are all going down and maybe it's daylight over there, I'll try and stay awake through the night, reading or listening or watching a movies or doing something with energy and vitality. Then when it's time to sleep, and I'll miss meals to try and do this, I will then put instant calm on a tissue. I'll inhale it and I'll lie there. I'll put a drop on my chest and I'll just try and put myself in a sleep zone. Now, the other thing I've started travelling with in association with instant calm is homeopathic melatonin. So, it's really good to help with jet lag. You can get it from any natural health food store. But if you start taking the melatonin like at the time that you know you're going to be sleeping, so I'd use that in conjunction with the instant calm, then your body is already going into sleep. Even if you don't fully sleep, your body is going into rest mode and ready so that when you get to the other end, because the worst thing that can happen, as we all know, when we arrive somewhere early in the morning and you are shattered, if you sleep in the afternoon or you do have a sleep, sometimes it's the hardest thing, because then you're awake at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning and it takes you more days to get over it. So that's something that I use in association with the instant calm. The other 2 oils I'll take is Immune Boost without fail, because the minute you sit on a plane, someone sneezes or coughs or there's
What
dirt.
is with that, by the way?
I don't know. Within seconds, I've got a bet. Fleur and I have had this thing for years whenever we've travelled. Within seconds it is. 1 or 2 seconds, someone's snorting, sneezing, snotting, coughing. It's foul.
You know what I find amusing here is that I've never ever noticed that.
Oh, you've got to.
Because it doesn't bother me. Because it's not something, you know, when what you focus on, you get. What you focus on, you get. Was something like that doesn't bother me.
No, Cyndi. It's ignorance on your behalf. That's all. You're just not noticing it.
Did she say that? Jeez, don't hold back now.
I thought she was going to come up with some amazing insight.
Yes.
And she comes up with, I'm ignorant.
No, you're full of ignorance, meaning you ignore the coughing and sneezing.
I really don't notice it.
Yeah, you will now.
Do you notice, and I know that this is just a me thing, but do you guys notice the number of babies that scream blue murder on planes?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just me.
No, but I've travelled
That's
with
why
them.
I have my earphones. And I always have one. You know what I notice? Actually, not the coughing and the sniffing. I've always got the kid behind me pushing the seat.
Same.
Yeah, no.
And it infuriates me. I let go. And then I kind of do after 2 hours, I glance around.
You try and look over your shoulder at the parent and go, can you do something
To
about
look
that?
through the thing at the parent to go,
hello.
And then I look back. But it has to be a couple of hours of annoyance. You know, like if it happens in the beginning, you know, the parents try to stop it. But if it continues, then I look at the parent and go,
something needs to be done.
But that's hard. And being a mother travelling with young children, it's hell. And it's scary. And people look you up and down and they think you're revolting and they think you're the worst parent in the world. And that's where my other oil comes in handy.
which is?
Lavender. So I travel with those 4 oils. Now, I have been known to pick up children that aren't mine, but they're screaming because I look at the mother and I think, poor mother. Because I've been there, and I've picked up the child and I've put a drop of lavender on my shoulder, and I've picked up this child about, and I said, "Would you like me to walk with it?" And I put the baby's head onto my shoulder. I'm like, breathe.
And you got the lavender
on my shoulder, but it helps.
And you've smothered it to death, and then you give it back to the mother, dead. But at least it's quiet.
Not that bad. Anyway,
Close.
But lavender to me is also highly antiseptic. So Immune Boost and lavender are the 2 antiseptic oils. And so I'm such a snob though. The minute my tray comes down, I spritz it and I wipe it with a tissue because I just can't cope with how many bugs and things are on there. And so my Immune Boost spritzer goes everywhere. Even when I sit at tables, I spritz. When I go to the supermarket, it's in my bag all the time. One of the dirtiest places are elevator, you know, those travelator things, the handles, and supermarket trolleys. So I spritz all the time whenever I'm putting my hand... And toilets, let's not go there. So you take the Immune Boost as your saviour when travelling. You can't go without it. Have you got yours? Are you ready? Have you got yours ready to pack?
I'm all sorted.
Good. I can't be without my
How big's your suitcase?
It's as big as me. It's as tall as... Well, it comes up to my chest. It comes up to my chest. It's one of those Samsonite fabulous numbers, actually. It was quite expensive. But I figured I wanted to get something that was really, really big and ultra, ultra light. I think the thing weighs like 0.5 of a kilo, half a kilo. It's really big. It's comes up to about my chest.
And she's no shorty.
And it's going empty, love, so that you can fill it.
Is that with your heels or not with your heels?
Well, here's the sitch. The Samsonite will probably only be half full. And then we're taking another suitcase, which is Matt's suitcase, and that will be empty. Yes, it shall. Yes, because there shall be purchasing of shoes, handbags, all things fabulous. Anything else I decide I want, yes, I shall be purchasing. Stop it.
Whereas I want to go with the smallest suitcase I can possibly have. I hate dragging stuff. Sorry.
She nearly said that.
I nearly said it. I hate dragging stuff with me. I will wear maybe 2 pairs of jeans while I'm gone. Everything is in 2s.
But if you go for a month, Matt and I were actually talking about this last night. What's the deal? You go for a month, you can't possibly pack a month's worth of clothes.
No, you can't. So you just keep... And really, nobody's seeing you for the second time over and over and over again.
So herein lies another thing to always pack and take on holiday with you.
Washing powder?
Yes. Some sort of washing powder or washing powder liquid, something that's there so you can quickly wash things. We do all our hand washing. Like when we travel with the kids, all our knickers, socks, all that underwear stuff.
Look, she's writing it down.
Always travel with some sort of soap powder, natural, if you please. Or, your Immune Boost. As silly as it sounds, you can use soap in the hotel to wash marks off. That's not a natural soap usually, but if that's what you're trying to do is soak it and rinse it, and then I put the Immune Boost in the water and rinse it through all the Immune Boost.
I haven't thought about that because
Yeah,
I wash in the shower. So I'll wash socks and undies in the shower and I only take 2 pairs. 2. One I wear and one I'm washing.
You take 2 pairs of undies?
2 pairs.
If you're going to go for a month?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you wash one and then you wear one. Why would you take any more? You got to remember, I
take at least 10, just in case I can't wash some.
No. I would be taking 30.
Yeah, one a day.
Yeah.
Who's a disposable?
I don't want any.
I don't wear anything twice. That was the ultimate brat comment.
That was hysterical. You would take 30 pairs of undies. She's lost.
So bad. It's
no,
good.
2 pairs. Even if I'm going for a month, like I've been in Canada and America for a month, I took 2 pairs. One I wash, one I wear. And you know where I learnt this? When I did Outward Bound and I travelled for 2 months with a backpack on my back and I had to carry it all the time. Backpack on my back? I had to carry everything. And you were minimalistic. It was everything you did. You had 2 T-shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of longs. And I usually had the longs that you could zip on or zip off.
So good we don't have three princesses in this group.
we're just as well.
Wow, I'm just battling with this, really.
2 pairs of socks, 1 pair of shoes, maybe a pair of thongs. This is because you've got to carry it for 2 months. And you think about it, you don't want to carry 50 kilo. There is no way.
She's got Matt.
Okay.
Have you seen the size of Matt's calves?
I have seen them. Yeah.
Have you seen his calves? Those calves were born and built for carry.
Carrying stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, but I do not want to carry and cart stuff around.
Well, we were worrying about that, and I did get a little bit of flack, I will be honest, because Matt's quite down to frugal.
He's like me.
Oh, yeah, Matt, very much like you. Peas in a pod. I copped a bit of flack wanting to take 2 bags, and his concern was we're going to have to wait for 2 bags to come off every damn carousel and every baggage, because we've got a couple of internal flights and trains, planes and automobiles along the way. And he's like, so you're going to be dragging a bag, I'm going to be dragging a bag, and the whole lot's going to just be a nightmare. So I'm actually thinking perhaps I need to try and get it down to just the Samsonite.
You don't need 30 pairs of undies, I can tell you that now. That'll
so if I
take the
took
weight out
15.
a little bit.
Mine hardly weigh anything anyway. So
Well, I know they don't, but it's like,
When you put 30 together,
do you want 30 pairs of dirty undies or 29 pairs of dirty undies in your bag? That's the way I think about it.
No, that's disgusting.
Exactly. So why do you need 30
I get what you're
pairs?
saying, Cindy, but there's no way I'd only travel with 2. Because,
3 then?
No, I go with half a dozen. I at least go with at least 6 days, 7 days worth, because then, because the other thing is, if you're going to a cold place, things don't dry very quickly and easily. So then, what, you're going to put wet little damp knickers on?
Yeah, but my undies are the really,
Yes, I
really
know
thin
that.
thing.
Yeah, let's tell everybody, shall we?
Well, that way they dry fast.
Right, and mine are G-strings, and they've got nice little flowery bits on them and everything.
Well, there you go. They'll dry in a second. There's nothing to them. Mine have at least got a bit more than that.
Well, I'm probably coming more from a mother's perspective. My children's cotton knickers and things like that. It's very difficult to keep things like that dry.
Get them in a G-string now. On a jock strap.
Jacob and Danny and G-strings.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so
Moving along.
I don't know who you people are.
So okay, what about your walking gear and running gear? You only take one set of walking or running gear?
So I have one set of running gear, because then I'll just rinse as I go. But you're right. You know, if you are in a cold environment and you can't do that, then you almost need those too. But I just live with that.
Well, the bottom line is what we're trying to say after all this conversation is take some washing powder or washing liquid. Okay, so we've talked about essential oils, maybe melatonin, definitely lavender and immune boost to go with it if you're snobs like Carren and I. But immune boost, I find, is the ultimate. You can do so much with it and it's so cleansing. And the last thing I want is to be sick when travelling.
And I must say to you, just in support of your bratnicity around all of this, Earth Choice have actually brought out little hand wipes. Yes, they have. Little antibacterial numbers.
Stop it.
I know.
Hand wipes, that's another one to
Little
write
hand
down.
wipes. See,
Hand
because
wipes.
I carry the oils with me, but
Yeah.
I have an insatiable stash, which means basically never-ending, bottomless stash of little antibacterial hand wipes. And instead of spritzing, I wipe.
Yeah.
I wipe the tray. I wipe the armrests.
See, we're both
You are. I would never think
take
of
them
doing
with me
this.
into the toilet, so I've got a little hand wipe in my hand, and I open the door.
Same.
I open the door with a little hand wipe.
Same. I can't open a toilet
And
door
then I
that's other
close
people
the
have
door
touched.
and lock the door with the little hand wipe, and then
Yes.
dispose of it.
Or tissues.
And then I do my business. I get up and I use a little hand wipe to pump the soap. I don't touch the top of the soap pump. I use the hand wipe to
Oh, you've
pump
gone
the
too
soap.
far now, Des.
You're going to clean your hands anyway.
Yes, I know. It's an issue. It's just an
It is an
issue. It's
issue.
an issue which I have.
I think we need to do another podcast
But I-
on addictive personality behaviours.
And you know the funny thing is, I actually think I'm getting worse as I get older.
I think you are. But it's good. We're proud.
Yeah, no. Well, at least you know you'll never catch any bullies.
Well, the
off
best
me.
thing is, what I'm
that's
suggesting now,
true.
for every travelling with Kaz, just follow her, because everything will be clean in her way.
And there'll be a bouquet of flowers following me wherever I go.
Do you know what I think this is? And a lot of people have this aversion to
Germs.
germs. And it's because we have this belief, and now this is going off track a bit, but I think this is really important that we bring this up.
I was waiting for it. I was thinking you would come in, but good, keep going.
You know what am I going to say?
You're going to say that we need the ghoulies
build
and we need to build our strength and against the ghoulies.
Well, yes, actually, I was going to say something like that, but I was actually going to start with we all believe in the germ theory, and the germ theory is where if a germ gets near you, you'll get sick. But that's not the case. Because how come you touch something and maybe get sick, Carren or Kim? I touch something and I don't get sick. It's not the germ that makes you sick. It's your immune system, if it's strong or not. Mm-hmm. So I've always been brought up with the germ theory is debunked. There's nothing. It really doesn't exist. It's about the cleanliness of the body, or the strength of the immune system. So it hasn't been something that we've done. That's me. It's not the cat.
She just kicked me under the table. I thought she was trying to say something.
It was me. Yeah, I didn't mean to. So we were always in the belief that our body was strong. We'd been brought up strong. Our immune systems were strong, and so we didn't have to worry about things like that. Yes, wash your hands after you've been to the toilet, but it wasn't. And other people probably don't. We don't know, but it never was something that was brought to our attention as something that we needed to do. Plus, we do know that a too cleaner environment makes us sick. We have to have these germs. Carren, I just need you to know this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gross me out. Go, ready. Oh, and look at you, Kim, siding with Cyndi. Oh, my God.
I want you to know that you're in a cloud of microorganisms called microbiomes. You have tenfold the DNA matter of microorganisms in and around your body, orifices, the lot, than you do have your own cells. So you're going to have to really clean... No, not her, she says. You're going to really have to clean the old system out to get rid of them all. You just can't get rid of them.
But I don't think it's really... I'm sticking with
here
the
we go.
Now. No, I don't... Maybe it's not even so much the germ thing that I have an issue with.
It's the disgust of others that don't wash their hands and put their pee all over the door handle. I don't want to have somebody else's pee on my hand.
And if you've ever done... even little things like bars of soap have been known to have faeces on them because people... That's why I won't use bars of soap in toilets and showers and things like that.
No, it's not even entered my brain.
Yes, people poo on their hands and they wipe it on soap. They do.
I've been destroyed for life because of this podcast.
I mean,
I will never be able to think of a cake of soap again.
No, not in a public place. No. You must never touch it.
Listen to you too.
No, you mustn't. You must always go and get the little earth choice, little wipe doohickeys, and then whenever there's a questionable moment or a questionable environment, at least you have support.
But I'm also going to support you now and say that when I'm in environments that I can't clean or I'm not, I do my little...
I use my elbows.
No, all is well in my world.
I do. I use my elbows.
I've seen it. But I just go into, okay, all is well, all is well. You just got to, you're right. You have to have this mental approach to it that you actually aren't going to get sick. You can't get obsessed.
Well, thank goodness you're going to Europe. Thank goodness you're going to Europe and not the Himalayas.
Imagine her in India.
And through Nepal and India. She wouldn't be able to do it. How did you survive?
I loved India. I love it.
But with all the...
Yeah, but I just trusted in that environment.
They eat with one hand and they wipe with the other and they don't wash either.
Yeah, but to me, when in Rome... Not that I did that.
Did you poo on your hands?
No, I didn't. No, but I just think when you're in... Stop it. I think when you're in that environment, you just live with what environment you're in. So for me, I still have my... To me, see, the thing for me is if I've got immune boost, I'm fine. If I've got any essential oil, actually, I'm fine. Because I can just wash my hands with a drop of oil and I'm done. So I don't actually... I'm not that neurotic, but when I'm with Kaz, I love being neurotic with her. So, and when I'm with you, I love being quite rustic.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in between chick. I can go one way. I can be a brat or tart or princess or whatever. I can be both. But anyway,
this is what she sits between us.
Yeah,
she always does.
She always sits between us.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. We're always in this position. Either you're on the left or the right of me.
True. That just wouldn't actually feel right if I was there.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Yeah, you're always between us because you're the middle girl.
Oh, I am. I can flick either way quite comfortably. Prefer princess most of the time, but okay. So other things to take.
Yeah.
So a thing that I tend to take with me, just because it's all about me, is I've got this beautiful cloth yoga mat. So and it's got sticky things on the bottom of it, like not sticky, but if you put it on carpet, it's non-slip.
What's parquet?
I'm tired. It's carpet. It's non-stick.
Oh, parquet was carpet. How funny.
Anyway, and it folds up to probably a small hand towel size, and I love taking that with me because then it makes me do my exercise in my hotel room, or it just, I mean, you can just use a towel or you can just sit on the carpet, of course, but
No, but there's bugs on the carpet.
Yeah, no. And I love my little yoga mat, so that's something I always take with me too.
Actually, one thing that I do while I'm away, because, you know, when you're sitting on a plane and you're in a car for 5-6 hours driving, or you seem to have no time to do your exercise that you would normally do. So what I've started to do, and I'm very fortunate because I am a lounge member now because I fly so much, I actually go into the lounge, there's a disabled toilet. And I know you guys are going to freak.
Oh, you do not do that. You don't do that. There's poo spores in there.
Well, anyway, this is what I do. Is I get the towel because they have showers in the... And so I get my towels.
So do you take your own towel or do they have towels there?
They have towels in the lounge.
Okay.
So I get the towel and I just... Because I get too hot, I actually take my clothes off except my undies and bra, just so you know. And then I put a towel down and I'll do my push-ups and my sit-ups. And I'll do... I know, look at Carren. She's having a fit.
In a toilet.
Yeah, but you cannot do it in the middle of the lounge. They're going to think you're crazy.
I would do other exercises.
What can you do?
I would lunge. I lean up against a wall and do my press-ups.
Oh, no, I can't do it. I have to be in privacy to do my exercise, and then I can really get into it and concentrate on it. And that's what I've started to do is just... And these are big. These aren't little. These are not these little... Like, the toilet's way to one side, the shower's on the other, and there's quite a lot of room.
Wouldn't it be great if they actually had a little room where you could go in?
I don't know why they don't have an exercise room.
In the Qantas Club, they do actually have interview rooms. So
you could book one of those out.
Yeah, you could.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to do that when we travel overseas. I'm going to be booking a little interview room at each of the ports.
That's a better idea because I've never...
Much more civilised.
Quite like your idea better than that one.
Actually, all right, well, great, because now I can now move. I don't have to go. But I didn't know where else to go. And I have like a 2-3 hour layover and I don't want to shop. I'm not a shopper. I don't need anything.
Unusual.
I know, but I don't need anything and I don't want to carry anything. Like, you know how you said you've got a half empty... I don't buy anything. I buy one thing to remind me of the place if I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big shopper when I'm out, when I go away.
See, I tend to do yoga
exercise.
stretches.
Yeah, yoga stretches, but I don't want to do them in the lounge.
Yeah, but I don't care.
Don't you?
I don't care if people are looking at me stretching. In fact, sometimes people have joined me.
Mightn't be a bad idea, you know, to
It's
get
just standing there
rolling.
stretching and doing those twists and turns. Most people are doing weird things in airports. We're all trying to get through, so I don't think it's unusual.
You know, one of the things that I think they're going to need to start doing, like everything's at an airport now. Like Terminal 5 in London, oh my gosh. It's just the most... Are you going to Terminal... You've got to go to Terminal 5. It's the best shopping you'll ever do. It's just extraordinary. And the best foods and there's everything. They've really created an amazing place. Same with Bangkok, Singapore. Every airport now is almost like a town. You don't have to be in the lounges to do this. You can actually really do lots of walking. Like that's one thing I remember doing is walking all the terminals. Like you can walk 20k and never see the same thing in some of these terminals.
Yeah.
So I'll do the walking in those ones. But like in our little national lounges in Australia, you just can't do it. But I actually think that the lounges, I'm actually going to put a little suggestion in, is that they should have gyms. We've got showers.
They should have a gym.
Yeah, they should have a gym.
Fabulous idea.
Like, even with basic equipment, you don't need a lot of equipment.
You don't need a lot.
And then you take your little Earth Choice hand wipes and then you wipe over the equipment.
Or spritz your immune boost before you do your workout.
That's a really great idea, though.
It is, isn't it? Because a lot of us who do travel for work, and we are into our health, you want to move. And yeah, I did a yoga in my little toilet area. I do my yoga, I do my sit-ups, I do my push-ups.
I'm never going to go into one of those toilets and think the same thing again.
No.
I want to see her in a knickers and bra on the floor with a towel doing her little sit-ups. How beautiful. Little G-string number 2. Anyway,
You've got the G-string.
my husband always says you've got to always... this isn't me so much, but he takes his bathers, togs, swimmers, whatever you call them, he takes them everywhere because most hotels now have a pool, and his idea of exercise is swimming, and he feels really refreshed. I personally... takes a lot to get me in a pool. It has to be 45 degrees.
But then it's breeding bacteria because it's too
chlorine.
warm.
And chlorine dries your skin out and makes you look
summer.
dry. Yeah. And that would be the most sensible thing to do because it takes up, the space of a palm.
Yes.
Whereas when you take your running shoes, and I've got some really light running shoes, and you can get them now. Nike Airs, nothing.
yeah.
You don't want to take your big clobber hoppers, but you take your light ones, and you like I've been in -3 degrees and only needed to run in a singlet. You do not need lots and lots of gear. You can run in a singlet with long pants. Even my long pants, I only need my 3/4, I realise, in any temperature, whether it's... And then when you go summer, it's even better because you don't have to take a lot of gear. One of the things I was thinking, especially when you're travelling to areas where there's poverty versus areas where there's wealth, you have to think about your jewellery. Have you thought about that, Carren?
I have, and I went and purchased myself a brand new ring, but it was only $100. I went and purchased myself a new ring, and it was only $100 because I thought I'll wear that as my engagement ring on my finger.
That's a good idea.
My expensive one, my normal one, stays at home.
Yeah,
because
don't tell everybody.
What's that?
Do they know where you live?
No one knows where I live. No secret squirrel. But yeah, and I thought, and it's a beautiful little number.
We know where she lives. You might have to put it in the safety deposit box.
I have people babysitting my house, thank you. And I have savage dogs.
Okay. Yeah.
Fall over. All 4 legs. Up in the air.
So, you bought yourself a ring.
Yeah, I've bought myself a ring that I can wear so that if I lose it or it gets stolen or whatever, I'm not going to care. And then I also bought a couple of pairs of earrings that I don't care if I lose. So anything that's worth anything to me is going to stay here. And I'm not... I know this is going to sound a little unusual, but I'm not worrying too much about taking hairdryers. I will be taking my hair straightener. Yes, I will. My GHD goes with me everywhere.
Because most hotels have hairdryers.
I'd like to.
Have you got your adapter?
I bought an adapter the other day.
Good.
Adapters, we need adapters.
And I've also packed a little kit for showering in the Qantas Club when we land.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because we've got a couple of stopovers. So we've got little soap and little smush, little body flannel face washer thing.
Yep.
And some moisturisers and things. So we've got that so we can freshen up. But what I also have, I've created this little bottle, and it's got rock salt in it, the Himalayan rock salt in it. And I've put the immune boost with some peppermint and some eucalyptus drops into that.
Nice.
And I actually have that in my bag with me all the time, like little smelling salts. And I'm constantly smelling that just to keep the nasal passages clear, so I don't have to spritz and get everybody around me. It's just something that I can breathe in really deeply, and I'm getting the immune.
Especially when somebody takes their shoes off beside you.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of foul.
The spritzer doesn't even work. It you can. I have to
but that's
put.
when I put the oil.
I put the oils
on my
right
face.
here. I put them under my nose. I'm like,
Horrible.
what a great idea that is,
Disgusting.
that salt.
Yeah.
I'm going home to make one.
And I also
In my
take
kit.
I also take with me an olive leaf extract.
Tablet or
I take the spray.
spray? Oh yeah, that's throat spray.
Throat
one.
spray,
I
I
love
take
that.
that.
That's brilliant.
And I also have oregano oil.
Oh, yeah.
And you can get oregano oil in tablets or you can get it in the actual oil. I get it in the oil because I'm very wary of the capsules now.
Yeah.
So I've got the oil and I start drinking the oil in my water probably a week before and then on the plane, and it tastes like hell. It's the worst. I mean, it is the absolute ultimate worst taste in the world. So
Really
you hold
good
your
for
nose.
immune system.
Yes, but I hold my nose and I down the bottle of water just in a 600 ml, and I'll have that last me the course of the flight. So that's my little ritual. That's my little package for when I'm flying, when I'm doing a long haul flight especially.
Did you have to have any vaccinations for this trip?
No, not that I know of.
No. So that's another thing, is vaccinations. What countries require vaccinations, what don't, what requires malaria tablets, what don't. And we've made a policy that we won't go to a country that requires us to get out of the country to have a vaccination.
Yeah, right.
So that's just a policy we've made. I just kind of go, well, if that's the way it is, we're not going there. I'm just not prepared. But, if you are prepared, then you have to go to your travel doctor. But be careful because they'll want to vaccinate you for everything. It's really important that you think about, well, what is important and what am I really going to come into
contact
with. I know that they suggested when we went to Africa was to have yellow fever and malaria tablets, but we found out the malaria tablets were just prophylactic, which means if you get malaria, you take them anyway. So they don't stop you from getting malaria. It's not the case. They're not for that. They're just the same ones that you would take if you get it. And someone said to me, well, if I get it, I'll take them.
Yeah, right.
What's the point? So that was, but you have to do your own research on this. This is just what I've found out.
Yeah.
And as far as the yellow fever went, was really interesting. If we went to Zimbabwe, we didn't need it. If we went to Zambia, we needed it. So I had to do this. I don't know why, but I just had to be naughty. So we go to Zimbabwe. And we're doing a whitewater rafting trip down, and Zambia's on the other side of the Zimbabwe River, of the what's the river?
Zambezi River.
Zambezi River, sorry, the Zambezi River. So I just went, take me over there, I'm touching it. I want to defy authority and go to Zambezi. Or Zambia. It was Zambia. So it was just, I think people have to, look at that. Are they prepared? I know for myself, I was pregnant and I wanted to go to Kenya and I had to have all these injections and I just went, well, I'm not going. I'm just not prepared to do that. So people have to think about that also as to where they're going. Are they prepared to put up with what's happening there and take the...
I've got a little homeopathic kit. So when I'm going for longer than a few days, and especially if I've got the children, I will take my homeopathic kit with me as well. So things in there, like when we went to India, we had bacterial homeopathics. There was things, I think it's roost tox or something like that for if you cut fingers and things, arnica.
Arnica's good, isn't it?
And it's a really good one to travel with, the tablet or the spray. I always take Rescue Remedy with me. I've got a little portable first aid kit that I take, and plasters when you've got kids. I just don't know why, but the kids just always seem to want plasters.
But you need plasters for yourself too. That's so often.
Yeah. Sometimes
always
you get
take
a blister
plasters.
or something like that on your feet when you've been walking lots.
And plasters are why am I saying the Kiwi term?
It's a Band-Aid.
Band-Aid, thank you. Plasters. I always carry 10 Band-Aids.
Yeah, and safety
pins. I'm always cutting myself, yes. I'm always cutting myself, and a little sewing kit.
Yep, sewing
That's the
kit
other thing.
in.
A little tiny sewing kit.
I have this little,
I have these cute little zipper bags. They're tiny little bags, and in them, I'll have all my oils in one, and then I have my Band-Aids, my sewing kit, my pins, anything like that I have in that. So I have little compartments so that it's easy to find instead of all in one big bag.
That's
really
right. That's a good idea.
So a little homeopathic first aid kit, you can get them from chemists or you can get them through a homeopath. They're really helpful for me, but definitely arnica.
So what do you use the arnica for?
The minute any of us knock ourselves, hurt ourselves, if someone sprains an ankle when we're skiing, my mum hurt her knee, so I got arnica into her straight away. Arnica is non-negotiable. You have to take arnica.
So they're those little tiny little tabsules?
Yeah, they look like little white things, or you can get it as a spray as well. So definitely something like that. Particularly if you're a mum and you've got kids, you probably do travel with a little bit more because you're mindful that they tend to... I'll never forget us landing in London with the kids and they were exhausted. I travelled on my own from Auckland through Hong Kong to London with a 4 and a 5-year-old. Oh my gosh, it was agony. Anyway, we got there and we were sitting there having dinner that night, and there's my children sitting at the table. I've tried to get them away, and it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're trying to have some dinner to get them into bed, and Jacob literally just went forward into his plate and fell asleep right into his dinner. I managed to keep them awake that whole we just were out and about, and that's the other key. Try and get into that day. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, but make sure you stay up if you arrive somewhere.
So you stay in. You try and adjust straight away into the time zone of where you're landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It helps you with the jet lag because jet lag is cruel. Yeah. And it can muck up your holiday. If you're only going for a couple of weeks, it can take 3 or 4 days to get over.
I found the last time Matt and I came back from the States, when we got there, we stayed up for 36 hours just to be able to get into their time zone. And that was fine. We actually adjusted into the States really easily. But coming home, it took me 2 weeks.
It can take a while.
Because sometimes you're a little bit slack coming home, but I think you need to be just as vigilant with what you're doing as when you're going. And I am. I've learnt, because I sometimes arrive. I remember doing the same conference as you're doing in Birmingham.
Yeah.
I arrived on the Friday night. I spoke on the Saturday. I was gone Sunday night.
Oh my God!
My mum was dying. I had to. I had no recall. I couldn't just hang around. I wanted to get there and get home. So Friday night arrived, Sunday night gone, and so I had to be vigilant because I had to be really doing well with Mum when I got home. And it was from that day on that I figured out how to do it. I do remember ringing a girlfriend at 2:00 in the morning. And I couldn't sleep. And she just said, you need to do a meditation. And I don't think I'd met you at this point. I didn't know I had. But I don't think we had the oils. Yeah. I don't think I had the oils. But she really calmed me down and just said, you've got to sleep. You've got to talk in the morning. Because that's what it was. It was 2:00 Saturday morning, and I had to speak that next morning. So she was able to calm me down. That was Ricky, my walking partner. And I was able to then sleep. So sometimes ring a friend.
And wake them up.
No, well, it wouldn't have been because it was the exact opposite. But
That's a good idea, though. The meditations on your iPod are fantastic when
They're
you're trying to
brilliant.
go into a sleep because your brain is so active sometimes.
And now Lavender's just that, with Lavender and Instant Calm, it's almost like my brain's clicked into that now. Meditation, Instant Calm, boom, I'm gone. It's brilliant. One of the things... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say to you, when I went to Adelaide the other day, Sarah that came with me, she's got her food products that she manufactures and sells, natural earth products. But what she takes with her, and she had when we got on the plane, she has a little container filled with her powder, and then she just bought a bottle of water at the thing and then shook it on the plane and drank that. And she said that was my meal.
Yeah.
I took with me a little container, and I think that's a great idea when you've got little and you can't take food as such. But the other thing that I take is not your colloidals. I find it hard to travel with the glass bottle with colloidals, but I do take my Greenfood and my probiotics, and I mix a teaspoon of each for however many days away, and it's all in one container or in a little Ziploc plastic bag. And for me, if I ordered a water or if I got a good juice, then mixing that up for me, that actually makes me feel quite full, and I feel quite virtuous when I know I've had my probiotics. And I think travelling to a place like India, you will not want to go without probiotics and Greenfood.
Oh, no, I agree.
So to me that was... And we did get sick last time we went. All four of us got ill. We all got a tummy bug of some sort. And so I made up us all these green drinks. And I also did that, but the probiotics was the thing I was really big on, just to help our tummies adjust back in. So if I'm traveling, I'd definitely be taking your probiotics with me.
But I don't carry the containers.
No,
I actually put them in little Ziploc containers.
Yeah.
And the other thing I put in a Ziploc container is my favourite tea.
Yeah.
Because, I do not like the teas and coffees at all on the planes. I don't like the food on the plane. I ask for hot water. It's free. You save yourself money too. Yeah. But it's free. And then I dip... I get into my little bag and I put my tea bag in there. More often than not, I have the girls come up to me and say, or any of the stewardesses come up to me and say, what are you drinking? It smells so good. Because I've either got chai, a type of chai or an Indian spice, or licorice. They're my two favourites.
Same.
So that's what I do while everyone else is ordering Coke and lemonade. And it confounds me that people haven't got, but what they put in their mouth is what will create their health. It really, when I see what they put on in their mouth, and it's everybody, it's not just, it's such a small percentage of people that are even bothering to think about this.
So what do you do on a long-haul flight for food?
I take a lot with me, and I'm able to. I did have my yogurt confiscated at Sydney Airport.
Were you doing an international flight?
I was doing an international flight. And you've got that. Actually, before we go into that, let's just talk about the scanners that are now happening around the world.
Yeah.
We are being scanned, and they say, it's less than what's on a mobile phone, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And if you're in America and they ask you to go through a scanner, you can choose not to go through it.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because you get pat down.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a pat down here. And actually, I stand with arms and legs apart, And it's the nicest thing because they...
Feels like a massage.
It is. It's like a massage.
It's her cheapskate way of getting
It's my chicken. Yes. I go through the scanner. But in Australia, you are scanned. And if you refuse...
scanner in Australia.
Yep, and if you refuse, 24 hours, you are not allowed to go through... Not allowed to go through security. You have to leave and come back, and then you have to take the chance of whether you're going through the scanner again. But I've actually worked it out because the only place I've ever been picked to go through a scanner is Sydney Airport. And Sydney Airport, from left to right...
Do you mean that full X-ray scanner?
Full X-ray scanner. If you refuse in Australia to go through... I
haven't seen that in Sydney.
Yeah, it's in Sydney International Airport. If you refuse to go through it, they will basically say, well, leave. We're not, miss your flight. We don't care.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've actually gone through it once and I was furious. I fought like you wouldn't believe not to go through this scanner and they would not let me. Then they took my yogurt. I had all my food ready for my international flight and they take my yogurt.
Oh, it's so frustrating when they do that.
So you can take food then?
You can take food. All my solid food was fine, but my yogurt, because it had been moving and because I make my own yogurt and I don't have solidifiers in there, it actually had turned to liquid and they took it.
Sometimes at the other end when you arrive, they say if you've got food on you, you've got to get rid of the food. Have you ever had to do that?
Yeah, I eat it if I have to. But if not, I'll throw it out. If it's just, I don't want to breach security as far as our customs go. I don't have a problem with that. But what I have a problem with is that we have lost our rights here with that. But at Sydney Airport, are you going via Sydney?
When I fly to San Francisco, I am going via Sydney.
All right, this is how I do it. So when you go into security, and you're looking at all the security things left and right.
Yeah.
The only one you can get away with that I've figured out, and probably they're going to hear this and going to change it, but anyway, is the far left one.
Right.
Because the far left one, you can actually you can miss that one. That's what I figured out how to do it, and that's what I did. I was like checking out, where do I go? Oh, I can go there, and they're not going to get me on the left-hand side one. And it's not because I'm carrying guns or knives. It's I do a lot for my health, and we don't know the ramifications of this. They're all saying it's safe. I said, well, you get in it. He said, I get in it 10 times a day. I said, well, you get in it before me. I fought. I was furious, absolutely furious that I was made to go through something that I felt that they could have done by a pat down. They didn't need, they didn't. But, Australia's getting really... what was interesting is that I saw a naturopath had the same thing happen to him, and he said, I really look after myself. I did not want to go through that. And he said, I had to go through it. My whole family had to go through it in the end. And he was trying to find a loophole in the system as well. And there's nothing we can do about it. We have to go through this. If we want to fly internationally, we have to go through it. I've never been through it in Brisbane, but Sydney, definitely.
It's interesting, though. It's a fine line, really, isn't it? If you think about the measures that we have to take for our security, I don't know. It's kind of like it's a you can't win, don't try scenario, because if we don't up the ante on our security, we do land up with terrorists in the country, and we do land up with terrorists on our planes, and we do land up with all of those sorts of horrific experiences that we go through. Yet the price that the individual pays obviously comes at a cost. It's a tough argument. It's a tough conversation to actually have a right or a wrong on it.
But I have my thing around your germs with that. I'm like, I hardly go in them. I'm not around them a lot. They've got to do a job for security. Get through it as quick as I can. Now go and have something really nice to eat that I can actually support my body, that it's not going to rupture my immune system and things like that. So I think I've kind of gone the other way with that. I'd rather that they were same. I think I'd rather that there was the big security measures, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying about the...
Well, I want an alternative. If a pat down...
that's a fair call.
Yeah, I think if a pat down is...
They do that all through India.
They do, all through the rest of the world.
And there's a female side and a male side, so only females will pat you down and things like that.
But why can't they do that in Australia? Why can't we have... I really believe in Australia at the moment that we are losing our democracy. The whole thing with this that's happening at the moment in New South Wales, that if you're not vaccinated, you can't play.
Oh, yeah.
or fluoridated water. That to me is not a democracy. That's not me allowed to choose whether I want to take fluoride tablets or not. The folic acid in our bread, the iodide in our bread. Like, I just keep going. When's it going to stop? When's this mummy state going to stop? And that security, they're doing. And you know what the guy said to me? This really annoyed me. Is that when I went through the security, he said, this is not like the American one. So I had a look at the security one. I looked at the name of it. I looked at what it looked like. I did everything. I went to America. It's the same name. He actually lied to me. I don't know if people are allowed to do that. But this security guy said this isn't the same as the one in America.
He picked the wrong person to lie to.
He picked the wrong girl. I'll tell you.
Wow.
I'll tell you.
So back to, just because we're going to get through it, but
this is travel. This is all part of travel, People have got to be aware of it. My daughter, I have to tell you, my daughter rang me yesterday because she's about to go to Europe for the first time, and she's doing Sweden with friends, and then she's doing Ireland by herself. And I said to her, not to drink as a single girl travelling. I said, be really careful about that. And then she does Spain and Greece. And what was interesting is she didn't know about currency, how to take money. Should I take cash on me? Should I get my currencies done now? So I gave her what I believe has been the best thing that I do, is that when I get to a country, I figure out what I'm approximately going to spend each day. I then pull that out of my FPOS. So my cash card, I'll just pull the cash out and have that when I get to the country. Because except when you go to countries where, well, actually, I haven't been to a country where I haven't been able to use my FPOS ever. You can use it everywhere. So I just use my FPOS card, pull the cash out for what I think I need. Because when you're using your cards all the time, they're charging you like a wounded bull here, whereas you only get charged that one time to pull that cash out. Then when I'm leaving, I'll change that money to where I'm going. So what's really good is that she's got the euro in 3 places, but she's got the krona, the Swedish krona. As far as I know, I couldn't see that they've got the euro. So that was another thing, is do you carry cash? Do you buy a specific card? Whereas I don't think you need to. I think you can do everything with your FPOS card and take an emergency credit card, which she's got. And that's another thing, is that health insurance or travel insurance is really, really important. And I figured out the cheapest way to do it.
Well, I've got a year one, and and it takes me everywhere. It's cost me $490 for the whole year, anywhere in the world. The top cover for everything, no matter how many trips I take, and it includes car insurance if I hire a car as well. So I think,
all right, you've been duped.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we found out really cheap ways of doing it. There are credit cards out there. You have your annual credit card fee and you get that insurance, and it's with Zurich.
Yeah.
And I have always used it, but my 2 daughters, what I did for them was that I got the credit card. It costs me $89 a year for my 2 subsidiary card holders to have full travel insurance with Zurich.
But do you have to actually buy the trip on the card?
Yes, you must buy the trip on the card. Yeah, but you got to buy it some way. So why not buy it on the card? So what I did was for the girls, like Howard's done it for Brogan, but for the 2 girls, Howard always says to me, why are they yours when they're good and mine when they're bad? So Howard and Brogan have a card and a subsidiary card together for him to travel. It's $89. But, it's $400, that's a lot of money when you...
Well, it didn't feel a lot to me, though. I didn't know that. And I also don't want to get another credit card. So for me, it was like, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this $400. And it covers all 4 of us. Danny travels all around the world, and he does so many trips a year. He's away 9 months of the year. Yeah. So I thought it was quite good for us.
Yeah.
For that.
Well, we just have... Howard and I have our credit card. It's $250 a year. Full travel insurance, cars, everything. And then we bought... we've got 1 each with not a lot of money on it, but that's the cards that they take for emergencies. Yeah. We don't use them for any other reason, but those cards they take, there's, enough money to get them home. That's what's most important, or if they've got a hospital or something like that, it's there. But both of them have travel insurance on them as long as you buy it. And I think it's because when your kids are travelling, like mine are now adults, Brogan paid $750 to travel to Canada. And because he was snowboarding, it just souped it right up. And he did use it, by the way. He ended up using it because he had a really bad accident and he ended up in hospital. But we could have done the same thing with this new way of doing it. You really just got to look into it. And there are ways. The trip's expensive enough, and then the travel insurance on top of that. And this was the way we did it.
I think it's great.
Yeah. So for the girls, it's we have subsidiary cards for them. So it's full travel insurance. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And also, I had a girlfriend when we travelled to India, this is many years ago, but she always, and I still do it to this day, had a bum bag in the front, and you put your really important things there. But in places like India, they're onto us tourists. So they actually and they did this to us. We got out of the train at Jamshedpur and we're standing there trying to get to another train, and they actually come in and they create a kerfuffle. And while they're kerfuffling and you're going, no, and you're touching your bags here, someone behind you has just cut your bum bag.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So you just got to have your wares about you.
And you know what, even through security through developing countries, because Tanya, we were going through airport security and Tanya was behind me and I could see a kerfuffle happening, and I actually came back through to find out what was happening, and the security guy was moving her bag around. And he then said, take your coat off. So she took her coat off. And we got everything through. About 3 minutes later, she went and checked for her phone. He saw her put her phone in her bag, in the zip, in the front. By the time we got through, the phone was gone.
Wow.
The phone was gone. So then, but it was about 3 to 5 minutes after she'd gone through security. She went, where's my phone? I know I put it there. Then we all put two and two together, realised the kerfuffle. I had my iPhone on me. We started searching for her iPhone. It had been taken out of the airport. Security was with us because she'd said my phone's been stolen by security.
Yeah.
But they couldn't find the guy. This was just like,
wow.
Oh, this was just unbelievable. So it's not about scaring people, but what it's about is about being very mindful all the time wherever you travel, because yes, this was Africa, but and I say that as though I'm not surprised, which is really bad. But yes, it was Africa, but maybe in Europe, you don't know. You don't know. Or, where.
Well, you only need to, and if you've got children, teenagers travelling overseas, you just got to show them the film Taken.
Yeah.
Make them watch.
I did that. I've done that for the girls. Yeah. Don't say that. Casey leaves today.
She'll be fine. She's got a protective little angels around
her. Yeah, she does.
The other thing that I will just throw in here as a brat that I have travelled with and even taken to New Zealand, particularly with children, I do take my Thermomix.
Yeah,
you take it
to New Zealand.
I took my Thermomix to New Zealand.
Really?
Well, because I knew where I was staying. No one had one. Now Mum's got one. I don't need to travel with it. But I have travelled internationally with my Thermomix.
Do you check it in?
No, I take it on as hand luggage, but you've got to put the blade into your hand.
You can take everything else but the blade.
But there's a special bag for the Thermomix. So for those of us with young children, that saves me a lot of money.
Yeah, it does.
Because then I can make their porridges and their soups and their pastas, and I can do that in my hotel room, even if it hasn't got a kitchen. I can still make. So for me, when I'm travelling long, or probably not so much now, it's a lot easier with my kids now that they're older. But I know that probably sounds a bit funny, but I do know people that like to travel with a blender so that they can always do something up, a small one, just even a little, or even one of those hand bar mix things.
Yeah.
They're quite handy to travel with if you're doing things on a budget or you're wanting to save a bit of money or whatever. Those are fantastic. And I always travel with my little Cyndi salt in one of those little containers. Always have that. That's with me every day, but that's a nice thing to take with you.
And when you travel nationally and you're in a car, you can take the Thermomix very easily. And in a hotel room, you can make a whole meal.
Yeah.
You do not have to be eating out all the time. And if you do eat out, then you just have to be mindful of what you're choosing. Breakfast is a no-brainer. Find a place that makes eggs.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
It's not easy for someone like you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I've got to be honest, I find it really challenging, and I'm going to probably find it quite challenging in Europe, where it's all about the pizzas, gelatos, breads and croissants. Yeah. So to find somewhere that'll do baby spinach, tomato and halloumi, maybe I might get lucky.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find... I don't know. I'm trying to find something that I can take with me that I can have as meals when I can't get a meal. Matt's going to be fine because he'll eat all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't want to come back the size of a house. I really don't want to come back the size of a house, and I don't want to be over there feeling like dog's breakfast eater.
So you just go, and you know, a lot of the hotels. I don't know if you're staying in expensive hotels, but
yes, we are.
She is
a silly question.
You know, they will make what you want, and you just. I actually just go up to them and say, "This is what I want," and. That's the best thing, is to just always ask.
Yeah.
Always ask them what they want.
I always say things like, I've got a health condition. They don't need to know my health condition until I'm healthy.
Yeah, right.
I've got a health condition. I'm healthy, so I would like this.
Yeah.
The other thing, I just want to say something to you guys. This is my little thing. I checked in not long ago on an international flight over to New Zealand, and my luggage was, I don't know, 25 kilos. I think it was only meant to be 22 or something around
I know
that.
what you're going to say.
The person in front of me was a very big, overweight person sitting there slurping on his McDonald's bloody shake, and his luggage was, I don't know, he was obviously all right. But I looked at the lady behind the counter and I went, I weigh half, if not a third of that guy there. Why am I getting slammed on 3 kilos when clearly I look after? I think it should be a taxation issue for healthy people. Healthy people should be honoured for how they travel and what they do. I think it's an absolute scam that I shouldn't be able to take extra luggage.
But Samoan Airlines have actually done that. It's all on weight of the body.
I think that's the best thing.
Really?
Yeah, the big Samoans, you know.
Yeah.
They had to do something, I guess, because they're big boys.
Yeah, they'd be like 150 kilos just in a leg.
Yeah. So now, so now they're actually starting to.
Really?
Well, that's the first airline that I've heard that's done it. But I agree with you. Like when they get me for 1 kilo, I blatantly open up my luggage, take it out, and go, fine, you have it. I'll take it with me. You know, I just think. Like if that's how they're being petty, especially when we're like 60 kilos or you're less, you're 55.
Well, I just think it's funny that they all go on, and I understand that we can't take heaps and heaps of luggage, and it's not about, bunting up against the authorities, but if you're talking about the weight of the plane and what the plane can actually handle, surely then why don't we all get weighed? Let's stand on the scale as well as the luggage, so that it's a combined. I don't know. That's just
I'm with you. I'm actually with you. One thing that I want to talk about is when your flights are delayed. So there are certain people that do certain things, I notice. So some people yell and scream and get upset and the whole world's against them and why has the airline done this or anything like that. But if we can think about it a little bit differently, a bit like you and your grandmother in the car, and I'm talking to Kim when I'm saying that, you know, I always look at a flight delay or something like that as though, well, obviously I'm going to miss something that's maybe disastrous for me, you know? Look at it differently. Spend that 3, 4, 5, 6 hours or a day, whatever. I love it when I get free accommodation. Just love it when they leave me for a day. And sometimes I go, well, I really want to stay an extra day. This is so cool, you know. When I'm speaking, it's a bit hard, but I never fly the only flight to go. I'm always a couple of flights before, because then I don't panic and I don't get into, I'm not going to make it. But I always look at them as times really to sit. Yeah, it's times to sit and just get a magazine out.
And it's time to sit and actually be grateful.
Yes.
Because it could be a whole world of danger or whatever that you're missing out on. I think when the flights get delayed, I actually relax.
Yeah.
It's at that point that I go, oh, cool, I can just read a little bit more on my Kindle, or I can listen to something else on my iPod, or, I can go and
go to the toilets and exercise.
No, don't think I
that one wasn't on my list.
No. Correct?
No, right. Go for a walk. Go shopping.
That's right. We're going to now go
shopping.
No, we're now going to go for exercise into the interview room.
That's it. Yeah. Do you know, it's funny you should say that. When I took a group of people to India last year, I think I told you, I'll just say it very briefly, I loved this attitude, but I was really worried about people coming to India with me, because India is not a place of normality, as in, I don't mean that rudely, I just mean nothing is going to go to plan.
Nothing you're going to see there is going to be familiar.
Yeah. And it's also not always goes to plan, you know?
Yeah. I mean, no, it doesn't, does it?
So I had this group of people, and these two people pulled out of the tour because they felt it wasn't going to be organised enough. And I thought that was so funny, because India is all about not being organised. Anyway, so they pulled out, and I'm so glad they did, because on the day that we got there, that morning, I had a phone call from these two ladies, and they went, "Oh, Kim, we're here." And I went, "Oh, fantastic." She goes, "No, we've literally just got here." And I went, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" She goes, "Well, we arrived at the hotel. They took us to the Hilton, but they took us to the Hilton on the other side of Mumbai. Mumbai. So we actually didn't get to your hotel. And then when we got to that hotel on the other side of Mumbai, and traffic full on all the time in India, we got there at 2:00 in the morning, only back to this hotel this morning to find out our rooms weren't ready. And I went, oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to have such a crack at me for not being organised. And she goes, no, Kim, the best thing happened. We went down to the bar. We thought, look, we might as well just go down to the bar. We can't do anything about it. This man, this beautiful Indian man, well-educated man from England, but an Indian man, he came down. He couldn't sleep. His son was asleep. He came down. We've just raved for the last 3 hours in the bar. They still, to this day, nearly 2 years later, are good friends with this man. And I just said to her, oh, Marilyn, I'm so grateful for you. And she goes, no, I'm really grateful that the whole thing happened because I would never have met him otherwise. And I went, isn't that a beautiful way to approach travel? You know, you just don't know what opportunity is going to unfold because of that.
It's like, I look at it, I know this is probably a little bit childlike, but I look at it when I'm travelling, especially when I'm going overseas, and even nationally too. But I look at it and I think, okay, so this is me out in the universe now, especially when I'm up in the sky. I was like, right, I'm right in the middle of the universe, like I'm right in the middle of it. So it's really, I from a very spiritual perspective, it's like the minute I arrive at the airport, I surrender, and I surrender to the universal forces that will be, and I don't have any say on any of it. I don't have an opinion, I don't have an emotion, I don't have any say on any of it.
That's beautiful.
Because the other thing too, you know, when you're up in the air, it's not like you can pull over if you get a flat tire, you know. If anything's going wrong, you're falling out of the sky. And when we were flying to the States last year, there was this real turbulence where the plane actually felt like it dropped 100 feet. Everybody's food lifted up off their trays. Everybody's bags landed up around their ears because the plane dropped so dramatically. It hit this massive air pocket. And I understand the aerodynamics of aircraft. So I intellectually, I knew what was happening and that we would be okay. But I was scared to absolute death. And everybody on the plane was absolutely terrified. The screams, the shrills, it was devastating. But even that, it's universal business. You're in a damn seat, 35,000 feet above the earth. It's universal business from that point on. And I think it's like me. It's like me and the universe. We're hanging out. We're getting close. We're connecting. And I really feel like that. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a bit childlike, but
you know, it's probably a really good way to think, because I know when I used to land.
Maybe that's why we get so excited traveling.
Yeah, maybe because we do. We love traveling. I just remember when we used to land and it felt like the plane was going to the right a little bit. I'd lean to the left to pull it across.
Oh, how did that work out?
No, it doesn't make a freaking difference. And all of a sudden one day, yeah, exactly. All of a sudden one day, it makes no difference what you were doing. And I see people, you know, grabbing things, and I don't grab anymore. I don't get upset in a plane anymore. I go, universal business. There's nothing I can do about anything. Why get scared? Why be upset? Why move to the left a little bit to move the plane?
I will have you know that when I first started travelling, it was in the era where I remember drinking Baileys sitting on the pilot's knee. Just saying.
Because you're a tart.
I'm just saying it used to be quite interesting being able to go up into the cockpit.
I remember that. I remember going in the cockpit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I used to work for Ansett. And
oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. And I used to fly from state to state, and I'd sit in what they call the jump seat, which is behind the pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was uber cool.
Yeah, I loved it.
Cool.
You can't do that anymore.
No.
I'm not sure many pilots would have me sitting on their knee now.
I don't know, Kimmy.
Depends what's in it for them, love.
The Mile High Club here.
On that note, we've always got to go there, don't we? You know, she just sneaks it in right at the very end.
Every time.
She sneaks it in.
Every time.
Skanky $2 crack whore. And she always squeezes that one in.
Have a great trip, you tart.
You have a great trip to America.
Yeah.
So join us next week on Up for a Chat and be part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. And we will see you on the ride.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/The Wellness Couch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Are you ready to take your life to the next level? What about being world-class in anything that you do? We're to hang out with like-minded people and mix with the wellness leaders of Australia. If your answer is yes to any of these questions, then we'll love to see you at the Wellness Summit. But hurry, it's fast approaching, coming up on Saturday, August the 17th at the Crown, Melbourne. Tickets are just $147 and can be booked online at thewellnesssummit.com. See you there. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.